There's 3 ways we're going to beat this team. Defense. Defense. Hey, defense. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
It's time to step up to a fresh perspective.
He's been playing out of position for a full year. Maybe move the kid back over the corner where he earned his 5-star status.
It's time to talk about the day's biggest topics.
He wasn't talking about anybody else other than Justin Fields. And to be truthful, he wasn't taking another 2019 quarterback.
And if you don't agree, then fight me.
Let's get ready to rumble!
It's time for Fight Me with RJ Young. Fight Me is brought to you by American Putter Company, The Fan Stop, and Trey's Bar and Grill. So step up to the mic and fight me. Here's RJ Young.
You tell me, Doug. Nah, I can't hear me. Oh, hey, you can hear me. Hey! So today we're going to get into Patriots, Rams. Should Josh Gordon get a Super Bowl ring if the Patriots win? Also, why Rachel Phelps is actually the owner of the Los Angeles Rams. Pour one out for St. Louis. We're also going to get into, did Lincoln Riley actually get paid enough for a job that some folks still don't believe is in the top 5 among, the best college football jobs in the country, which I don't know. You got feelings about that. I got feelings about that. We're going to get into, of course, whether or not Alex Grinch was the winning hire or Sean Gleason, Oklahoma State, was the winning hire. And, of course, Baker Mayfield. Before we get into that, hey, fight me with RJ Young. That is me today. My goodness. Did anybody else pregame to Necessary Roughness, Varsity Blues, Friday Night Lights, an Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin? Probably not. Probably just me. Before we get into Baker Mayfield, hey, folks, you need a putter. You need your very own custom putter. You need the kind of putter that doesn't just have your name on it, but your kid's name on it. The state they were born in, a flag planted in the city of their birth. You need a head cover too. You need a head cover with a picture of your kids on it, made out of industry-leading materials, including Italian leather, and a ball marker in your pocket with your spouse's name on it for good luck. You can get all of that at AmericanPutterCompany.com. Use my name, RJ Young, and get 10% off of your purchase at checkout. That's AmericanPutterCompany.com, presenting sponsor of Fight Me with RJ Young. So, I got a question. Did anybody else watch the Cleveland Browns play football in 2018? Because I don't think that any of the folks that were really voting on this actually know what Baker Mayfield did. Yes, Saquon Barkley, the Quan, had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. And yes, the Quan had 91 receptions. And yes, the Quan had 1,300 yards rushing and was far and away the best New York Giant. But Cleveland was trash, y'all. Just straight garbage. I mean, we're talking about a winless franchise. We're talking about a franchise that was not only the butt of the joke in the NFL, but among every single major sport we know about. They're making jokes about the Cleveland Browns in the NHL. They're making jokes about the Cleveland Browns in the European soccer leagues, Bundesliga, Premier League. They all know that the Cleveland Browns were a joke. And then Baker shows up. And what does Baker Mayfield do? I mean, we can talk about winning games, of course. And we can talk about how much the city of Cleveland needed a winner at quarterback. And we can talk about how many quarterbacks they had before they got to Baker Mayfield. But what we really need to just keep an eye on here is that once Baker became the quarterback, the starting quarterback, sat Tyrod Taylor down, the entire program over there flipped on its head. It took its P's and Q's from the Pied Piper that is the flag planter, Baker Mayfield. We know that because, folks that followed Oklahoma football were privy to it. He won a Heisman Trophy there. Led him to a college football playoff. You could see he was the hype man on the sideline. You don't see that out of a quarterback. But I mean, let's start talk some stats here, man. Mayfield won 5 of the last 7 games that the Browns played. They were 7-8-1 after going 0-16. He went 6 for 7 in 13 starts, came off the bench to lead the Browns to the victory over the Jets and one man's favorite darling quarterback in Sam Darnold. He also threw for a rookie record 27 touchdowns, despite only starting 13 games. And he's breaking Peyton Manning's records, man. You know, you can break Peyton Manning's records, but you can't be Rookie of the Year. You can do things that Russell Wilson can't do, and you can't win Rookie of the Year. But you know what? Despite all of that, folks that know, like Michael Irvin, was very clear about what he thought about Baker, which was if he would have started at the beginning of the season, there is no question he would be the NFL's offensive Rookie of the Year. And, you know, there's not a whole lot to say that he'd be wrong. Because if we just extrapolate out the facts, we could probably get to a couple of wins instead of a couple of losses there at the beginning. Folks that followed Cleveland know that Zane Gonzalez lost them that game against the Saints. Yo, man, make your extra point. You're a kicker. You have one job. You have one job. Make your extra point. And we can also say that if Hugh Jackson was not the head coach of the Cleveland Browns to start the season, that perhaps Baker would have started right away. But revisionist history, Malcolm Gladwell might support me on this, means that could have gone the other way. It could only happen for Baker the way that it happened. I think that Saquon Barkley was fully deserving of winning NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. And I like that they had a gentleman's wager on this where the loser had to buy the winner a chain. So that means that Baker Mayfield gets to design and give Saquon Barkley a chain. Now, I, for one, am quite interested in what that might look like. I have my suspicions. Might have, you know, his number 6 and Heisman Trophy winner, and then the Quan would have to wear it. It might be something that is an ode to the Quan. I don't really know. I just know that Baker is quite the creative dude, and he is basically making himself a star in ways that don't have anything to do with football. Like, I know that everybody wanted to dunk on Steve Harvey because he got everybody's names right at the NFL awards show last night. That'd be Saturday night. But he also was very quick to bow to the man that is Baker with a joke that I think...
Green Country's best fishing, hunting, and boat show is coming to the Grove.
Hey. Oh. You got... Oh, that's Corey Hilliard back there in the booth. Corey out here just... Hey, man, what you think? You think that Steve Harvey was on one when he was talking about Anita Baker is... Baker Mayfield is actually Anita Baker's nephew, and that Curtis Mayfield was his... Well, no, let me get that back. Baker Mayfield is Curtis Mayfield's pale cousin and Anita Baker's nephew. What you think? I can't hear you, but I bet the people can. I mean, that's what I think. I like Baker. I like Baker like I like Justin Timberlake, like I like Channing Tatum. I like dudes with swag. I like to think that I'm a dude with swag. I like swag when it is on a football field. You know who else has swag? Corey Hilliard had swag. He got so much swag that his Twitter account is protected, and he got a verified badge. You know, but I don't understand, Corey. Man, you got me going now, because the Twitters, they don't care. They don't care about the RJ Young. They care about the Corey Hilliard. And we need to get into how y'all pronouncing my man's name. Y'all just jacking up my man's name. Can't even spell his name. It's got 2 I's in there. Oh my goodness. You know, I gotta also say that we got to get into your background as we continue to do the show, because Corey was one of the rare 2-star recruits out of 24/7 Sports that, hey man, stars don't mean jack. And you're coming out of New Orleans, I mean, you can play some ball. I mean, but outside of LSU, what y'all got? I mean, you went to Oklahoma State. That tells you a lot. Tells you a lot about New Orleans. Tells you a lot about Louisiana football. One. I don't know. Tulane might be something. No? Oh, man. The green wave getting the shade. All right, so before we get out of here for the first break, thank y'all so much. I've been looking forward to this day for so long. It's been a long time coming. For the folks that enjoy the YouTube channel, that were there for this man on a piece of cardio equipment yelling about Baker Mayfield planting a flag, to RJ being in a Super Bowl ad, that's today. Hopefully you're in the 5 markets where that's running. Not going to go ahead and say that, naturally light is cheap, but it's only running in five markets. So we'll get into that. But hey, man, when we come back, we're going to get into. We're going to get into Josh Gordon. We're going to get into the Pats. We're going to get into the best Tom Brady story that I've ever heard in my life. And, of course, Rachel Phelps running the Los Angeles Rams. Matter of fact, Rachel Phelps might have a bone to pick with this one. I don't know. Corey, you in on this? Because I might have to educate you too. So, Corey might learn something. I learned something. If you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, check out the interview I did with St. Louis Post-Dispatch columnist Ben Fredrickson about why Stan Kroenke is the worst. We'll be right
back. Green Country's best fishing, hunting, and boat show is coming to the Grove Civic Center February 15th, 16th, and 17th. Sponsored by Gibson Tackle and Marine, where you'll find free question and answer seminars every 30 minutes by some of the best hunting and fishing pros, like FLW's Jeff Dobson and Bass's Shane Pickett, hunting guide Harry Wood and Kenneth Whitehead, and Lowrance and Garmin will conduct seminars on their electronics, including the new Live Scope. It's the Mid-South's 20th anniversary show at the Grove Civic Center February 15th, 16th, and 17th. Get more info at MontgomeryProductions.com.
O'Reilly.
If you've been delaying needed maintenance like changing your oil, replacing headlight bulbs, or installing new brake pads, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and put your tax refund to work. Our professional parts people will help you get more mileage from your refund and avoid costly repairs down the road. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Did you get a new gun for Christmas? Don't shoot your ears out. At Woodland Sports, 91st and Sheridan, we have hearing-safe suppressors to protect your ears. We also have the new SIG MPX Copperhead in stock and the new FN Scar 20 on the way. Come to the northwest corner of 91st and Sheridan for our special New Year's silencer sale. And remember, don't shoot your ears out. Get a silencer at Woodland Sports.
Your home for sports. 97.1 FM KYAL Muskogee, Tulsa. 96.1 FM KITO Veneta. KEOJ Caney, Kansas. 101 FM. 99.9 FM K271 ALFM Sepulpa, Tulsa. 101.3 FM K267 CC Veneta. AM 1550 KYAL Sepulpa, Tulsa. And AM 1470 KGND Veneta. The Sports Animal. You heard it on the Animal.
It says, Dear Jerry, on behalf of the University of Tulsa, it was a great pleasure that I personally present to you this
Hit me
letter.
up in my ears because I couldn't hear anything.
October 27, 2018, you will honor...
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a setup.
Keep going, Big O. Keep going. Okay, I'll take over from here. I'll take over from here.
Hey, so we got
Saturday, October 27, 2018, TU will honor your distinguished playing career
35 seconds and we back live.
Jersey number 55.
Hey.
The Sports Animal.
So you fixed it where I can hear me?
You heard it on the Animal.
The 2018
If I can hear you, I can hear me.
Heisman
Right?
Trophy
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
is
Cool.
awarded
Because I can.
to Kyler Murray.
You'll flip my mic. All right.
This is crazy. I've worked my whole life to fulfill my goals, but at the same time, man, I know there's a higher power looking down on me. He enables me to do all things. For that, I'm grateful for the many blessings that God has blessed me with. Also, I want to congratulate my boys here, too, and Dwayne for their 2 historic seasons. It's been an honor to be with you guys the past 2 days and meet y'all.
The Sports Animal.
So, now that we back doing this, I wonder how many of y'all think that Josh Gordon ought to get a Super Bowl ring if the Patriots should win. I know cart and horse and all of that noise. But, bro, we need to talk about why this is so controversial and just what it means to win a Super Bowl ring when you haven't participated in the postseason. But first, let me let me tell you about Trey's Bar and Grill. Voted Tulsa's best burger, featuring award-winning chili. And for games, enjoy 11 TVs, an 11-foot big screen with game sound. Trey's Bar and Grill. Family-friendly and open every day for lunch and dinner, featuring burgers made of 100% brisket. Trey's Bar and Grill also is the home of the Tulsa Steelers Fanatics. Trey's Bar and Grill located in the southwest corner of the Vineyard on Memorial. Online ordering available on TreysTulsa.com. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook, and tell your server I, RJ Young, sent you. So I sent out this Twitter poll asking how many people, if anybody, thinks that Josh Gordon, wide receiver for the Patriots, suspended, no longer with the team, should get a Super Bowl ring if the Pats win. Well, turns out 52% of folks who follow me and participate in the poll think that the man should not get a Super Bowl ring if the Patriots should win. Now, I got beef with this. I got a problem with this because he played in 11 games, which is more than Rex Burkhead played in the regular season. And there's a backup quarterback holding a clipboard that's going to get a ring. So why on earth shouldn't a man who's had 100-yard receiving games, who is clearly a contributor to this team, not get a ring? Because what? Because my man is having a problem? Because he's trying to get himself back together? Now, you can make an argument about how he chose to handle it and whether or not he tried to get in front of the suspension by saying, hey, man, life is falling apart again. I need to go fix this. But on the real, why y'all trying to shame this man out of his ring? Do you remember that Nomar Garcia-Parra got a ring? Not necessarily participating with the Boston Red Sox for their World Series? I mean, if you're a contributor to the team, if the equipment manager can get a ring, if the office assistant can get a ring, why can't Josh Gordon get a ring? And I'm also real salty that Josh Gordon got traded from Cleveland in the first place, because to watch Cleveland and Baker is to know that Jarvis Landry was the only dude that could be depended on to catch any passes out there. And one of the things that they need to go get is a dominant number 2 for that man, because Antonio Callaway just ain't getting it done. But I digress. Now, Corey, you played the game. You played the game for a long time in the NFL. Josh Gordon was your teammate. This had gone down with you. Would you want this man to get a Super Bowl ring?
I say yeah, because he was on the field.
I mean, yeah.
He contributed.
Right, but like, even if he wasn't on the field, you know how many people...
Even if he was just on the active roster, yeah, you got to give him his ring.
I know, right?
He was there for a substantial amount of time. Like, you get on with what you own.
I mean, and that's where I come down with this, man. But more than that, I think that a lot of this that we're talking about with the Pats, hey, guys, did you know that Tom Brady is the quarterback for the New England Patriots? Like nobody knew. But one of my favorite stories to come out of this mess that is, the lead up to the Super Bowl is a particular one that I hope that y'all haven't heard about, Brandon Spikes and Tom Brady. What had happened was Brandon Spikes had a career year, like 91 tackles, like 4 sacks, a forced fumble or 4, some passes defended, thought he was going to make the Pro Bowl. Did not make the Pro Bowl and was broken up about it because my man had an all-timer kind of season and he thought he should be there. And he was moved to tears over this. So much so that his Pats teammates were trying to pick him up and say, yo, man, it's cool. Time is coming. It's going to be all right. Tom Brady, the Pharaoh, he wasn't about that. He went up to Brandon and he said, hey, B, you think I play this game for Pro Bowls, bro? This is about rings. Rings is what it is here. Get your head up. That's what we're playing for. And that picked Brandon
like
right up.
Rudy Gobert.
What's up?
Crying like Rudy Gobert.
Man, y'all need to put Rudy Gobert in that All-Star game. I don't know what y'all doing. Yeah, that get me into the NBA All-Star game. Don't get me started there. Pro Bowl, you can let anybody in. You can let anybody into the NBA All-Star game now. And that's kind of my point. Right? Like, if you want it and you're willing to cry about it, you should get in. I'm willing to cry about being verified on Twitter. Still ain't got verified. I'm still salty about that, but I'm going to cry about it because I'm trying to get recognized for the work that I put in. And that's kind of what I'm getting at with Josh Gordon, what I'm getting at with Rudy Gobert, and what I'm getting at with All-Star games. Like, I like All-Star games. I like being able to say that person made so many all-star teams. I like being able to say that person played so many Pro Bowls. But Tom Brady's on it when he says you played a game for rings. You know? And that's kind of my point, too, is if you Josh Gordon, you knew what you were going to New England to do. You weren't going there because you were going to be the dominant number one. That's Julian Edelman's job. You weren't going there because you were going to be the unguardable receiver. That's Rob Gronkowski's job. And you weren't going there because you thought that you should be playing quarterback like everybody else. You went there to win rings. And that's kind of the point here, right? Why are you going to shame the man out of his ring? Give him his jewelry. Now, on the flip side, you got the LA Rams. And, you know, I'm not the biggest Tom Brady dude. Matter of fact, I made a video about that nobody watched. But I understand how St. Louis in particular can come to hate the Los Angeles Rams, man. And it's all got to do with this dude, Stan Kroenke, who owns my team as well, Arsenal football, stand up, 1-0 to the Arsenal. And how he told them repeatedly he was going to do everything in his power to keep that team in St. Louis. Did he keep the team in St. Louis? Hesh nah. But he kept telling everybody he's going to keep the team in St. Louis. And I got a video up, you know, with Ben Frederickson where I went into this, but you know, it was actually Pocket who brought it to my attention. She said, "Oh, Stan Kroenke's just Rachel Phelps." For those of you that ain't woke to the movies, Major League featured an owner by the name of Rachel Phelps who took over the team from her deceased husband and wanted to move the Indians out of Cleveland. But to her credit, she wasn't shy about it. She would tell anybody that would listen she wanted to move the team out of Cleveland, and that was that. Stan Kroenke out here just straight telling St. Louis lies. Hey, man, we want to keep the team in St. Louis forever. That's what his head spokesperson told them. Dude by the name of Kevin Demoff. And now you up and move the team to L.A., and you expect everybody to just let that go? Like you ain't say what you said? You know, like if I said I'm going to drop a video every day at 6 p.m., y'all better believe I'm going to drop a video every day at 6 p.m. You know, I don't understand how you can let that slide. Again, Rachel Phelps would be right to take offense to me giving this dude the name of her, giving her the namesake. But that's what it is. And owners did not become billionaires by knowing anything about sports or know anything about stadiums. You know, they know something about what they want. And that's kind of beef with every owner, honestly. I mean, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. I can't tell you how much I want Jerry Jones to fire himself. But that's just where we at right now, right? We got dudes that can tell us something and then move the team and say, hey, you know, bygones be bygones. I mean, I wasn't actually being truthful about that. I wasn't actually telling the truth, but you gonna let it go. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because there has to be some consequence, and that's why the city of St. Louis is taking Stan Kroenke to court over this. Now, I think they got a better chance of winning their suit than, say, you know, New Orleans Saints fans who want that game replayed, because we're going to be talking about a team that is in the Super Bowl because the refs made an egregious no call, and you can make a great argument that the game was over if that penalty gets called, but it didn't get called. And now we left with the Pats, a team that most people can't stand, with the Rams, with an owner that I think most people can't stand. So I'm trying to figure out just who I should root for. I'm trying to figure out, should I be rooting for the Pats, Tom Brady picking Brandon Spikes up, letting him know what's what, Josh Gordon trying to get his name right, trying to get this ring so we make a lot of people upset? Or should I be rooting for the Rams, who are into the Super Bowl on a bad call, who are owned by an actual Justice League villain, and who have a quarterback that was, you know, aight this year? Todd Gurley, I was not on the Todd Gurley train until fairly recently, but I mean, I can't deny that man anymore. That man good. That man good. You know, he real good. But I also got Sony Michel over there. And I remember Sony Michel did the Oklahoma, and I can't really let that slide neither. So I'm kind of in a bind here. I kind of I think who I want to win this is the halftime show. Because it's been a while since we had a really outstanding halftime show. And maybe that would be like a Hobbs and Shaw 25-minute trailer. It ain't going to be. But it's been a while since we could really say that we had a great halftime show. But I'm going to get off that particular narcotic. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Oklahoma high school football and why we have so many, the lack of offers, honestly, for OK Preps to Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, and what that actually means and how to actually interpret what's going on when we're talking about these high-profile kids out of Oklahoma. So, we're heading into break. Yeah, there we go. All right. Stick with me. Debut, Fight Me, with RJ Young, Corey Hilliard in the booth.
If you missed the Sports Mix on Wednesday, then you missed Princeton play-by-play man Cody Crushell on Sean Gleason.
The really impressive thing with Sean Gleason has been how he's been able to tailor it to a couple of different quarterbacks. And I don't know if that's easier or harder if you're a young offensive coordinator because you're not necessarily set in your ways.
To catch the rest of the segment, head on over to the Animal Archive at sportsanimalradio.com. Check out the Fan Stop. Sign up for the OU Sooners T-Shirt of the Month Club and start receiving a new and unique design delivered right to your front door. Packages include standard and premium, both with free shipping from thefanstop.com. Use promo code RJYoung to receive 10% off your first order. That's thefanstop.com.
Big O on Friday. Here's some of what you missed.
The Rams win if. And I also brought in our good friend. I feel like it's Take Your Kid to School Day today. Chum Lee's here with us, and we're going to go with Coach first.
See, I look at it like we brought another semi-expert into the thing.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I look at it like Make-A-Wish.
It's Jerry Ostrowski, the Big O. Tune in to Coach and the Big O every weekday at 11 right here on The Sports Animal.
The Sports Animal.
It's always a great time to buy your new Ford at Harlan Ford here in Okmulgee. You know, all Ford dealers pay the same price for their new cars and trucks. The biggest difference is we don't have the big city overhead, so we can pass the best deal on to you. We have great rebates, low interest rates, and programs going on right now, and no doc fee ever. Come by and see us and say hi. We're just a short drive from about everywhere. Come see us at Harlan Ford in Okmulgee. I'm Fred Harlan, and I approve this message.
This is what Flo from Progressive sounds like in one of our many hilarious commercials.
Hi, did you know that you can get a quote on your motorcycle insurance in under 3 minutes at Progressive.com? And did you know that saying hi makes even bad news sound good? Hi, you have high cholesterol. Hi, you're fine.
And this is what that same commercial sounds like on your motorcycle.
Hi, there's no more cake.
Yeah, even our commercials sound better on a bike. And with basic policy starting at $75 a year, Progressive helps keep you on yours. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
The Sports Animal. The Sports Animal.
There's 3 ways we're going to beat this team. Defense, and defense. 1, 2, 3.
Cool.
Let's go.
I guess now
to
we need to just go ahead into this OK Prep thing, right? Because I know there's quite a few folks that wonder how a guy like 2020 running back out of Tulsa Edison, Savion Morrison, doesn't have an offer from Oklahoma, let alone Oklahoma State. I also know that there are a lot of folks that wonder why a guy who's 6 foot plus out of Broken Arrow, Miles Slusher, does not have an offer from Oklahoma. And I want to get into that, and I want to get into how the coordinator hires kind of go hand in hand with this. But first, let me tell you about thefanstop.com. There is nothing quite like cheering on your favorite team. What better way to show your spirit than a new t-shirt each month sporting your favorite school? At thefanstop.com, you can do just that. With both standard and premium packages with free shipping, you are sure to find it perfect for the fan in your life. Use the promo code RJYoung, that is my name, one word, all caps, no periods, to receive 10% off your first year's subscription at thefanstop.com. So check it out. If you are living underneath that particular rock, you don't know that Oklahoma hired Alex Grinch as its defensive coordinator, and you probably don't know that Oklahoma State finally hired Sean Gleason as its offensive coordinator at Oklahoma State. Now, I'm particularly interested in both of these hires because both of these guys are under 40, and both of these guys seem to know from football. In particular, Sean Gleason is 34, was a baseball man. He batted .333 at Williams. Mike Yurcich, for giggles, was 38 when he arrived at Oklahoma State. But my question wasn't whether or not Gleason knows from football, because obviously they did some really cool things up there at Princeton, averaging like 47 a game and 10-0, undefeated. Ivy League football or not, that's impressive. But I want to know if the man can recruit. I want to know if the man can identify talent, and we won't know that for a couple of years, right? And I'm going to be really interested to see who his first quarterback offer is. But I think that this is interesting as we look at Oklahoma high school football. Because, I work at a recruiting service, 24/7 sports, OUinsider.com, staff writer, video columnist. And I got a number of videos on the channel talking with recruits. One of them is Tulsa Edison running back Savion Morrison, who is smooth. I really like his tape. The dude just knows where the space is. For folks that follow Oklahoma Sooners football, I see a lot of Kennedy Brooks in this dude. But he's got offers from places like, Washington, places like Arkansas. Does not have an offer from the University of Oklahoma, though he did attend their elite junior day. And to my knowledge, when we last spoke, he didn't have an offer from Oklahoma State either. And then you look at Broken Arrow, who, by the way, competes for state titles. And you look at a cornerback out there by the name of Miles Slusher, who is 6 foot plus playing corner, and whose film, to me, looks a lot like what Ed Reed turned out to be. He's not the fastest dude in the world, probably high 4'5", 4'6", but he knows where the ball is, comes downhill and wraps up and tackles. And if you're an OU fan, you're wondering, isn't this just the kind of defensive back that we want at the University of Oklahoma? For all the Buki haters out there, you're wondering aloud, why doesn't Miles Slusher have an offer from OU yet? Even as you offer guys outside the state. Jaquez Robinson out of Jacksonville, Florida. He's got an offer, 2020 cornerback. Ryan Watts out of Little Elm in Texas, 6'3" cornerback. He has an offer. So why not just lock down the state? I'll tell you why. Because it's real difficult to recruit outside of Oklahoma if you're the University of Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. So you got to look at your numbers the whole way. You have to wonder aloud things like, hey, if we could pull, say, 5-star safety Elias Ricks out of modern day, but we've already have a take from another dude that we really like, but we don't like him as much as we like Elias Ricks. Now we're in that bad, awful position of telling kids that we have to revoke their commitment. And that sends just shockwaves throughout high school football. And now you got to deal with high school football coaches who remember what you did. And they might steer their kids away from you in the future, maybe forever. And that's happened before, right? We hear about the gray shirting. We hear about even blue shirting, right? Which is a little bit better, right? It just means that you're a take, but you don't really enroll on scholarship until a determined date. But if you're trying to recruit at the highest level and you're trying to recruit nationally and you're trying to get the best players possible, you're working under the assumption, especially at the University of Oklahoma, that any kid that you offer out of the state is probably got OU on its list and probably would love to go there. Now, the only times that that's not really true are places like people like Dax Hill out of Booker T. Washington, #1 recruit in the 2019 class out of the state of Oklahoma, and a 5-star safety. Another guy out of Owasso, Josh Proctor, 2018 class, ended up at Ohio State. Dax Hill ended up in Michigan. You got to recruit those guys heavily, and also just bear in mind that dudes that rank inside the top 10 to 20 in the state rankings among OK preps probably aren't as highly coveted as the Dax Hills and Josh Proctors of the world. You'll notice that Andrew Rame out of Broken Arrow, he's been had an offer from Oklahoma. Matter of fact, he was offered the same year that Bray Walker was. And y'all will remember Bray Walker as a 5-star offensive tackle out of Westmore. And I expect to see that dude compete for playing time in the 2019 season. But not everybody can get an offer when it's time to get an offer. But again, I point to Ty DeArmond, to all the folks that want to know when, how, if a Miles Slusher or a Savion Morrison could end up at Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. I know that Miles Slusher has an offer from Oklahoma State that is outstanding right now. Ty DeArmond wanted to go to OU, didn't have an OU offer until early signing day. Lincoln Riley hit him up, said, "You signed yet?" He said, "No, sir." He said, "You want to come to OU?" Ty DeArmond said, "Yes, sir." And that's how you get another safety to your 2019 class. A dude that was going to end up at Arizona State out of Arlington, Texas, that you were able to steal on the day up because you knew that he was always going to be a take for you. And I can't fault coaches for treating recruiting that way. You want to get the best players possible, especially when you're Lincoln Riley and you just got a substantial raise. Now, we can make a great argument for why or why not he should have got Jimbo Fisher money, which is that 10-year, $75 million obscenity that they have down there at Texas A&M. But you know what Jimbo Fisher has that my man Lincoln does not? A national title. And that is what it is about, right? We could talk about the Heisman winners. And we could talk about what is going to occur in the 2019-2020 season. But I think one of the things that we really need to touch on is that Lincoln hasn't won a title yet. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back from break. Yeah, man, I'm having a good time. I'm having a really great time. Corey, you having a good time? Yeah, you give me the thumbs up.
Heck yeah.
That's what's up. All right, this is Fight Me with RJ Young going into the final segment of the debut show. Keep it locked.
The sports animal. The sports animal. Get the latest from the University of Oklahoma athletics with our OU insiders, Brandon Drum and RJ Young.
Oh, sir, you're a genius.
Including our Bedlam radio segment each Monday and Friday.
I'm losing my mind. I have a meltdown.
That dude is unbelievable.
Read Brandon and RJ at OUinsider.com and hear from them each weekday at 10:30 right here on the Sports Mix. Just another reason why we're your home for sports. The Sports Animal.
Green Country's best fishing, hunting, and boat show is coming to the Grove Civic Center, February 15th, 16th, and 17th. The 20th anniversary Mid-South Show, sponsored by Gibson Tackle and Marine, where you'll find awesome deals from the best boat dealers on their new lineup and deals on last year's stock. Find tackle shops from a 3-state region with pricing crazy cheap. Book your trips with hunting and fishing guides. Friday the 15th starts at 5 p.m. and the first 300 kids with an adult get a free rod and reel combo. It's the Mid-South Fishing, Hunting, and Boat Show, Grove Civic Center, February 15th, 16th, and 17th.
It's the Big O. As we get older, we really need to know what's going on with our bodies in regard to buildup in our arteries, around our heart, and other vital organs. I've recently had the full body scan at Advanced Body Scan of Tulsa, and it shed some light on some potential issues. If you're over 40, it could be a lifesaver. Call now. Advanced Body Scan of Tulsa, 918-879-6161. You'll find them just east of Yale on 71st Street at 5711 East 71st Street in Tulsa, and online at advancedbodyscanoftulsa.com.
Hey guys, have you been hearing about low T and testosterone therapy? Testosterone is the cornerstone of a man's health. After age 30, we may lose about 2% of our testosterone each year. This causes us to lose energy, get fatter, lose sex drive, and disrupts our sleep. We think we are just getting old, when that feeling is really caused by low T. Universal Men's Clinic has local medical providers specializing in restoring your testosterone. We have had success with many patients.
Our medical staff will monitor every step of your progress, evaluating your blood levels and symptoms. Within a few weeks, many patients have reported more natural energy and a better sex drive. Within a few months, many active patients report stronger bodies and the physical performance of their younger days.
Call Universal Men's Clinic at 918-488-0000. That's 918-488-0000. Or visit universalmensclinic.com.
Green Country's best fishing, hunting, and boat show is coming to the Grove Civic Center February 15th, 16th, and 17th. Sponsored by Gibson Tackle and Marine, where you'll find free question and answer seminars every 30 minutes by some of the best hunting and fishing pros, like FLW's Jeff Dobson and Bass's Shane Pickett, Hunting Guide Harry Wood and Kenneth Whitehead, and Lowrance and Garmin will conduct seminars on their electronics, including the new Live Scope. It's the Mid-South's 20th anniversary show at the Grove Civic Center February 15th, 16th, and 17th. Get more info at MontgomeryProductions.com.
The sports animal. The sports animal.
There's 3 ways we're going to beat this team. Defense.
Oh, man.
Defense. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
1, 2,
Oh, yeah.
3.
I'm digging this. So, I got this clip queued up that I wanted to play for, the listeners who have skipped church to hear me, and I appreciate that. Because I think it is, it's crucial to what we're about to talk about. But first, let me do this read for you right quick. My homie Steve Bullard coming through. Buying or selling a home, or just consider doing so in the near future, I suggest, seeking the help of an experienced realtor. And my favorite realtor is my friend Steve Bullard of McGraw Realtors. Steve and his team at Laura Grunfeld and Associates will work hard to help you buy and sell a home by listening to you, understanding your needs, and helping you every step of the way. Working with a realtor to help you find your dream home is free and will save you money and time in the long run. And realtors also help connect you to properties not currently on the market. Steve and the team can connect you to lenders, inspectors, and contractors. They will use their over 40 years combined experience to guide you through the process. Call them today at 918-398-2929. Or reach out to Steve on Twitter at Steve Bullard. That's the homie. And I got to go pick up my Girl Scout cookies from Steve. But, Corey, play this clip right quick. It's coming. It's coming. I think it's coming. All right, so the clip is more Stan Kroenke just being ridiculous and offsides. But more than that, I still can't get over how the NFL chooses to conduct itself when we're talking about owners and whether or not they're accountable and who they're accountable to. This is a guy that used his right of last refusal to keep Shad Khan from buying the team. Oh, we got the clip? Cool.
Just as I did everything that I could do to bring the team to St. Louis in 1995. I believe my actions speak for themselves.
Oh yeah, that's the all-timer. That's one of the few interviews Stan Kroenke did with the St. Louis Post-Dispatch during his time as the owner of the Rams. And for folks who aren't familiar with how it happened, RJ, Stan Kroenke basically used right of last refusal to block Shad Khan, the owner of the Jaguars, from buying the Rams. And so he stepped in at the last moment, became the majority owner. And even from that day, there were fears that he might one day try to lead the team back to Los Angeles. And this was after, badgering him for an answer on this question. Former Post-Dispatch columnist Bernie Miklasz got an interview, and Stan was almost insulted that the question even came up. Why would he even consider eventually moving the team back to Los Angeles? And he was from Missouri, and there's no way he would lead the team there to lead it out. And years go by, and sure enough, that's exactly what he had in mind, even to the point that he was, shopping for land and finding the stadium site that the that the LA Stadium will now be on in Inglewood, while he was having his spokesman Kevin Demoff tell everybody that he was not looking for a football stadium site. It's hard to wrap your brain around, but that's the quote that we keep coming back to from 2010 that said it all before it was even in motion.
Take with it. I'm rooting for the Pats now. I can't not. I listened to that the first time. I listened to it the second time. That video is on the YouTube channel. If you are interested, titled "Stan Kroenke is the worst." Tom Brady, go get you a sixth Super Bowl championship, dog. Go get you a fifth Super Bowl MVP. Patriots, go do what Patriots do in the Patriots way and do your job and all of that noise, because I can't root for these people, man. I can't do it. Not after that. No, especially, did you guys know that Sean McVeigh is 33 years old and he's the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams? Look, I know that Sean McVeigh is a great football coach. I know that he's a great offensive mind, and I have seen enough of his high school football tape to know that he would have never been recruited by the University of Oklahoma. But I'm also not going to overlook that Stan Kroenke employed Jeff Fisher. And we all know that Jeff Fisher was way past his sell-by date by the time he drafted Jared Goff and started talking like Hugh Jackson did about everybody else that he wanted. And then Sean McVay was like, if I just really simplify the scheme in the playbook, I'll bet Jared Goff's actually pretty good because he's got this terrible word called arm talent where he can just throw the ball, 70 yards down the field. I can't with this, man. I need, if you're going to call the show, if you're going to fight me on this, you better bring flame and not be a lame. You better keep it 100. And you better have a good excuse for why Stan Kroenke is still your man's. Because that's what you're basically telling me. What you're telling me is that Stan Kroenke is your man's and that you're going to root for the Los Angeles Rams to win a Super Bowl that probably should belong to St. Louis. And it's not as if St. Louis is a terrible town. And it wasn't as if St. Louis didn't want to give that man everything that he wanted. They were going to pony up something like $400 million for a $1.1 billion stadium on the waterfront there in Missouri. They were going to do everything they could to try to keep this football franchise in the city of the Golden Ark. They got the Golden Arches. We got the Golden Arch. That's a Coming to America reference for those of y'all that, speak Coming to America. I'm not sure how many of y'all speak Coming to America. I'm not sure how many of y'all know what Fritz Akeem is actually doing, but if you haven't seen Coming to America, low key, well, if you haven't seen Coming to America, you're not really going to like this show. Because, it's complicated. I'm keeping it 100. Like the dudes in the booth, they laughing right now because I speak Prince Akeem. Bark like a dog. Oof, oof, oof. Nah. So, again, when you're trying to hold on to the football team, I got to commend the city of St. Louis because that would have been a really bad play because I don't think that any city should ever pay for a stadium. Just bad principles. Make that owner pay for it. He got the loot. He got the team. Don't rent yourself out to these people. But on the other hand, I wouldn't be mad if Stan Kroenke would have been like, yo, I'm just moving the team. I don't care that St. Louis wants the team to stay. I'm moving the team to LA. But that's not what he did. What he did was try to treat us all like we're stupid and like we don't care. And those of you that have been following the channel for a very long time and have supported the channel in such a way that now we on the radio, from a step mill to your FM stereo, 619 Rey Mysterio. Understand, I take this kind of stuff very, very personally because we're all fans. We all live and die by this team and these players and this game that children play. And we watch people get paid an exorbitant amount of money to play it and coach it and draft players and just sit in boxes and count their loot. So when a guy like Stan Kroenke shows up to do his best Lex Luthor, I'm not going to let that slide. I'm going to ride with the Avengers and call this man Thanos. And we're going to come correct. Take me to Nidavellir, give me my hammer, and bring me his head. That's what I want. That's what I'm keeping, like Corey over here laughing, but I'm keeping it 100. Letting everybody know. I'm here for you. I'm the people's champ. That's what we doing. So when you come to fight me with RJ Young, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to straight talk to you. I'm going to tell you that Dan Patrick was wrong to keep egging on Kyler Murray in the interview, but I understand it because the man's a journalist and he's doing his job and Kyler was there. You're going to ask him those questions. I'm also going to tell you that it ain't really that high a bar for Alex Grinch to reach when we're talking about a good defense. We don't need the defense to be great. I say pump your brakes when you're telling me that the 2019 defense is going to be top 10. I'm not also going to keep it 100 and say I think Scott Gleason was an excellent hire for Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. And I can't tell you how much pain I'm in having to say that, but that's what we're doing. We're going to keep it honest. Appreciate y'all for riding with us through this. I'm having a lot of fun. Thanks to my sponsors, thefanstop.com, Steve Bullard at McGraw Realtors, Trey's Tulsa, Trey's Bar and Grill, and of course, title sponsor, American Putter Company. Visit AmericanPutterCompany.com. I'll see you tomorrow on the YouTubes and next week at 10 a.m. right here on KYAL, the Sports Animal. Deuces.
The stage is set for Super Bowl 53.
Get your game face.
Tom Brady and the Patriots will face off against the Rams in Atlanta in a rematch of Super Bowl 36, the game that began Brady's legacy 17 years ago.
Brady has his fifth.
Hear all the hard-hitting action right here today at 5. Brought to you on The Animal in part by Advanced Body Scans of Tulsa, Burroughs Post Frame Supply, Champion Windows, and The Generator Guy. Your home for sports. 97.1 FM, KYAL, Muskogee, Tulsa. 96.1 FM, KITO, Veneta. KEOJ, Katy, Kansas. 101 FM, 99.